Welcome to the video tutorial of GreenCloud VPS. Today, we will show you how to install and configure Virtualmin on Almalinux 9. First of all, make sure you are running on an updated system with all the packages up to date. Also, make sure your host has a fully qualified domain name, FQDN. To change the host name, use the following command. Next, download the script that will be used to install Virtualmin. The script will be downloaded to your current working directory. Now, make the script executable by running the following command. Next, execute the script with the following command. This will launch downloading of the necessary packages and installation of the application. The time it takes to install depends on the speed of your internet, but it should take between 5 to 10 minutes. The installation should be complete with a message indicating that the installation was successful. The message also indicates that the service is running and can be accessible via the IP or the host name if it is resolvable through the internet. Next, you will be required to open port 10,000, which we shall use to access the Virtualmin web interface. You have now successfully installed Virtualmin, which can now be accessible via the browser using the IP or host name and port 10,000. On your browser, navigate to the following URL. Provide the username as root and the password as your root user password for the host. Upon successful login, you will be presented with a post-installation wizard that is used to configure and optimize the system for production. Click Next to start the configuration. Allow Virtualmin libraries to be preloaded to reduce issues with slow UI and navigation. Click Next. You can also enable CLAM AV virus scanning. However, this calls for the installation of other utilities to support the setup. And we won't be using CLAM AV in our setup. You will also be required to choose which database you want to use in your hosting environment. We shall be using MariaDB in this setup. Next, set the MariaDB password. Set up the DNS servers that will be used in our hosting environment. Complete the next steps and click Finish. You should now be able to use your hosting platform. After a successful installation and configuration of Virtualmin, the next step is to try to set up a domain to test if our hosting platform is ready. In Virtualmin, domains are termed virtual servers. On the dashboard, click on Create Virtual Server. You will then be required to provide the domain name and the administrative password. Then finally click the Create Server button. This will create an account with the domain name you have created and can now be used as a web server. Ideally, this creates a virtual host in the background and assigns its directory and database. You can navigate the file system of the newly created domain by clicking on the File Manager tab on the left. This presents a file system just like cPanel, where your index files should be placed in the public HTML directory. Finally, we have successfully installed Virtualmin and deployed a working domain on Almalinux 9.